The title of the talk is Gorkin, a good idea, question mark. So how many Ruby expats do we have? A couple. You guys are familiar with Cucumber? Yeah? So Cucumber is this way to take user stories and then write tests directly against the user stories. And back in September of 2014, I was dealing with a lot of user stories, and I thought it'd be cool to write tests to test the user stories. And so I started writing this thing called Gorkin, which is a play on words for gherkin, which is play on words for cucumber. And I came up with this thing, and I showed it to my team, and immediately the feedback was like, why would I want to use this? Like, I have GoCheck, I've got the vanilla testing thing. So this is really just a quick demo and a platform for to solicit feedback. So in the top right corner here, you've got the, oh yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, is that better? Can everyone see the top right? Yeah? So the top right, you've got a traditional Cucumber user story. You've got the feature, it's basically just a plain text description of what the feature is. And then you have scenarios under the feature. And the scenarios are just acceptance criteria. So here you can see I've just got a demo feature and a demo scenario. So given a user exists, when they type A, they should see what they typed in, and I've got something really stupid at the end, and 1 should equal 1. We'll get to that in a sec. On the left-hand side is what you would write in Gorkin to test this user story. So if you run it right now, can everyone see the bottom right? Is that too small? So if you run it right now, you can see that it goes through the user story and shows that there are no matching runners. So if we look at what this directory looks like, and Emacs is kind of screwing up my spacing here, but basically you've got a folder called features. That's where all your feature files will go. Under that, you've got a steps directory. That's where your actual test code will go. So the left half of the screen is the steps_test.go. The top right is the demo.feature. So this is kind of the traditional Cucumber setup. And I forgot to mention that I started writing this to explore the Cucumber concept. I'm not a BDD expert. I just like Go, and I thought this might be useful. So I was exploring it by building this. So if we uncomment steps on the left-hand side here and rerun this, have to define format here. You'll see that the given user exists step is covered, but the other ones aren't. So the idea with Cucumber is you just step by step, you go through and start defining these tests. So now all of them are defined, and you can see on the bottom right your test pass. And one important thing that I wanted to keep in mind when we were when I was writing Gorkin was I didn't want to define this whole other way of doing testing. So really, you can just use the vanilla testing concept. You just kind of stuff it in these functions here. Something kind of cool about these functions are that it does regex matching on these groups here, and then these functions don't have to have any special signature. It'll auto-discover what it needs to pass in. So if you ask it to pass in a testing.t, it'll pass a testing.t into you, and then you define the parameters that match the regex groups in the string there, and it'll do reflection, determine the correct type, and typecast the string to the type that it's requesting. And I found this to be really cool because you don't have to go through and set up special functions. You just do your regex groups, and then it'll automatically get passed into the function. Here we've got when I'm calling an isolation context, this is just a structure, and this structure will be instantiated for every scenario. So this is how you get state and context isolation between your tests. And you can store things that need to persist between the individual steps in this structure. Yeah, so I guess I just had this last example here to show, that the testing.t works. So like, we change this user story to say, and 1 should equal 2, and rerun this. You can see, you get the standard testing failure, everything works. You can also just type in Gorkin. It's just a wrapper around go test feature steps, ... That's really it. I just was curious if the Go community thought this would be something that's useful. And just on Sunday, I found out that in the time between I created this and when I published it, 2 other implementations popped up. They both look more mature than Gorkin. These are the 2. I haven't really looked at them because I found out on Sunday. But give those a look too. Really, I'm just kind of interested if the Go community is interested in the Cucumber concept. That's it.